What's going on, guys? ShadowNinja here, and today I want to talk about the Corrasion heavy burst pulse rifle that we got in Echoes. This is part of the Echoes arsenal, and I'll be honest, it's pretty interesting. I've seen some negative things about this weapon, but I've also personally, on my experience, I love this weapon, but it may not be for everyone. So in this video, we got 2 God Rolls to talk about, as well as a breakdown of why you may want to use this weapon in PvE, as well as some breakdowns with the God Rolls and why we're going for that. Now, just want to get this disclaimer out the way. We do have Destiny 2 news to talk about. You guys probably see on the channel past couple days. I've been covering about the layoffs and more information coming out and leaks and stuff like that, but I just want to say this before anything. I will talk about all that when I am ready. Personally, this franchise means a lot to me. I'm not giving up on it, not saying it's dead, but there's so much overload going on right now that I want to talk about it when I'm ready. And everything at the end of the day is an official word from Bungie. And it's not saying that the information and news we're getting isn't true, just that we need to let things breathe out some more. But I will say at the end of it all that it is clear that Pete Parsons got to go. Like, seriously, like, ugh. So with that being said, still gonna cover Destiny, still gonna love this game. I still love this game and things like that. So if you guys want more content, you guys are new here, please consider hitting that subscribe button and bell to be notified for when I do drop more content, whether that's Destiny or any other game on the channel. So pulses in PvE, in my opinion, right now feel very good. They don't make me not want to use something like a hand cannon or an auto rifle, but with the range being offered and the anti-barrier mod for them this episode, I am a fan, especially if they pack a punch. So this heavy burst archetype, it's new to the final shape. I am a fan. I do really love this weapon. It's not perfect, but it's a different and new type of fun for me, especially when I want to use an arc weapon with my prismatic build. Again, not because there is something specific I need from an arc weapon. It's just the way I'm building and using my prismatic build. And it also has Volt Shot, which jolts, which is good for them overloads because overload hand cannons are garbage. But again, I really do love this pulse rifle. The Volt Shot, the jolts, it just feels incredible with what I'm going for in my personal Hunter prismatic build. I'll make a video of that when I'm ready. There's a lot going on, different breakdowns when I get that all right for you guys. But yeah, I think it's time to compare this to other heavy burst weapons out there, and there are 3 in total, including the Corrasion, Nullify and Aisha's Care. Nullify is from the Salvation's Edge raid. This is a solar, and the main thing here is that it has a heal clip incandescent combo, which is pretty incredible. Aisha's Care is a Trials Pulse weapon. It's strand, and it has some to be desired in a PvE perk wise, but I do say that the damage type of it being strand is better than the arc damage type in certain ways, in my opinion. But yeah, that's just word and comparison of the different damage types and things like that and what those other perks can roll. But as you guys see on the base stats, ignore the magazine size that is not updated on D2 Foundry. You guys see that the base stats of this weapon compared to other ones are lacking, especially when compared to a raid pulse rifle, which shouldn't be surprising. Now, it's not going to say that you can't use this. You can, but reload speed being on the lighter side of things doesn't really help. Same thing with recoil direction, even though I don't think that matters too much. This is PvE, so range could be a thing, but again, it is lacking on the base stats of the weapon in a PvE sandbox. But that doesn't change the fact that having Volt Shot is a massive game changer for this weapon, especially if you utilize the right God Rolls. But before we jump into God Rolls, let's talk about all the perks in this weapon. Here on screen is all of them. We'll be reading this from right to left, labeling it so you guys can follow. Now, all the way to the right, we have Radiolarian Transposer. Rapid final blows cause targets to explode into a pool of Radiolarian fluid. This is incredible for a weapon like this. I mentioned sometimes depending on the archetype and depending on the weapon type, you don't really notice this or feel the power of this. In this case, with Volt Shot and Radiolarian Disposer, it really does feel useful and viable, and it really stands out on a weapon like this. Over in column 4, we have High Ground, Eye of the Storm, Frenzy, Swashbuckler, Volt Shot, One for All, and Focus Fury. Over in column 3, we have Air Trigger, Perfect Float, Pugilist, Eddy Current, Enlightened Action, Perpetual Motion, and High Impact Reserves. Over with magazines, we have the traditional Accurized rounds, Appended Mag, Tactile Mag, Extended Mag, Steady rounds, Alloy Magazine, and Flared Magwell. And then usual, like I say, with barrels, really your personal preference on the stats you want. I always go for the archetype like a Pulse or a weapon like the Pulse. I usually lean a lot on Arrowhead Break, but if you guys want corkscrew rifling or an extended barrel, perfectly fine by me. Now, here on screen is the God Rolls. Specifically, we're going to talk about God Roll number 1. Now, God Roll number 1 is going to be the lazy, obvious choice with a weapon like this, with something that has Volt Shot. We're going for that Volt Shot synergy. We have Arrowhead Break, Tactical Mag, Enlightened Action, and Volt Shot. Now, Enlightened Action is great for Volt Shot because it helps with your reload speed. Now, max stats will grant you plus 50 on that reload speed stat. Stacks do work differently per weapon. Don't really have the information for the pulse, but again, this is not too much of something you need to see or need to know. It's going to feel great. It's easy to proc. It is a very bare bones simple perk to use. And then of course, when it comes to Volt Shot, reloading after a kill grants a jolt after the next hit for 7 seconds. And this jolt gives you overload potential if you guys are dealing with champions in any type of Nightfall or Grandmaster. This, like I said, is the most bare bones easiest thing to use that is pretty damn fun and pretty damn viable in all forms of content. Now, God Roll number 2 is actually a personal favorite of mine. It goes for something a little bit different, and this is centered around melee focused builds. Example would be like a Banner of War for Titan, or if you want to rock a combination bow with Hunter, sure, you can get your melee back with the class ability and then class ability back with a combination bow. Final Blow, it's something you may not need, but again, it pairs technically with a melee build like that. So Arrowhead Break, Tactical Mag, Pugilist, and Swashbuckler. Now, Pugilist, the reason why we want this is that weapon kills grant 10% melee energy, which is great. And then Swashbuckler, max stats give you a 33.5% damage increase. And if you guys are using something like Combination Bow or Banner of War with your Grapple Grenade and things like that, hell, even with Prismatic Hunter with your Grapple Grenade, proccing Swashbuckler is so damn easy where you really enhance the damage capabilities. And I do think Radiant stacks with this Swashbuckler buff. Maybe, not too sure. Maybe I'm wrong. I forget what the classification are when it comes to damage verbiage and what they stack as and what they combine with. So I may be wrong on that. But again, if you guys aren't even using Radiant, that 33.5% damage increase with Swashbuckler is incredible and very good. But yes, these are the 2 God Rolls on screen. The first one is very Volt Shot centric, really pairing nice with that Volt Shot synergy you want when it comes to reload speed and utilizing that Volt Shot jolt you get from your first hit. Now with God Roll 2, very melee focus, very specific, really great if you want to pair well with some of that melee damage and you get a lot of damage output back with it. Also, Swashbuckler, you don't need power melee final blows to grant max stats, so that's incredible. On top of that, Swashbuckler, really underrated perk for a lot of different weapons in this game. But yes, there is room for the improvement on this weapon, but I still, with the God Rolls you saw, consider this a very fun and effective PvE weapon. Something with Volt Shot, again, overload potential with the jolt, very valuable, and then the Swashbuckler damage increase with the fact that Pulse has got some buffs and the anti-barrier benefits. Another really good choice to use in PvE. Safe to say that I recommend you guys craft it and have some fun with it in the PvE sandbox. But yeah, weapon's pretty damn good. If you guys enjoyed this video and found it informative, definitely drop this video a like, helps out the video a ton. For more Destiny content on this channel, like I said before, please consider hitting that subscribe button and bell to be notified when I do drop more content. Got some fun build videos I've been working on and things like that. Nothing too crazy, so be on the lookout for things like that, as well as more discussions and God Rolls for different weapons. But I pretty much said enough in this video. Hope you guys have a good one. ShadowNinja here, and I'm out.